So, Felicity, 3 seasons of American Crime. Looking back on it, I know it hasn't been that long since you guys went off the air, but you guys really accomplished something in those 3 seasons. Can you talk a bit about the impact, legacy of the show?
Well, I'm going to take out my gum.
Go ahead.
I think the legacy of the show lives in several different spaces. And the first is network television. I think it changed the face of network television. And like all those things that punch out the envelope, there's not a huge rush, but it makes a difference. It shifts the paradigm and things follow suit. So hats off to ABC. I also think the legacy of the show hopefully lives obviously in the audience, which is awareness and understanding. I think the difference between having a concept of an issue like forced labor or education or drugs and violence, the difference between having an intellectual understanding it and watching a story and feeling empathy to those characters is the difference. One brings knowledge and the other brings empathy and understanding, which hopefully brings unity. So I think hopefully that's the legacy of the show, and showing people that yes, you can do thoughtful, provocative, deep, smart work on network television and audiences want it. I think that's a game changer.
And for you, you've been able to play these 3 unique, different characters. What has that experience been like for you?
Oh my God, it's been heaven. An anthology series that every year it's basically like, a 8, 10, 12-hour movie, and I get to explore the character. It's been heaven. And also that John and Michael, we all trust each other and they trust me, and I could go in the first season and go, I'm not going to wear any makeup, I'm going to let my gray come through, I'm going to have glasses on, these are the clothes I want to wear, and they went, okay. And the second season I said, look, this is my idea of, a principal. I think I was basing it on a woman in LA. She has dark hair, she wears pearls, I want her to be, and they backed my play. And the third season I gained a bunch of weight, and I saw a lot of I have friends down in North Carolina, and I brought the look to them, and they always went, yeah, okay, let's do it. So the trust and the exploration that they're willing to do, and also the caliber of actors. I think, this year in particular, the actors that filled in the regulars was just exceptional. Cherry Jones, Dallas Roberts, Tim DeKay, incredible.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually from North Carolina, so when your character, I was watching that, I'm like, I know exactly who that woman is.
You did?
Yeah.
See, I have 2 friends from North Carolina, and they sent me pictures of all the friends they'd grown up with, and I went, oh my God, her hair, her makeup, that clothes, that body type is great.
Yeah. There's so much empathy that you feel for this woman and what she's going through. Can you talk a bit about her struggle in this season?
Sure. I think she is a character. First of all, it's nice to have a story about a simple housewife. Mm-hmm. And I think she is a character whose raison d'etre is to go, I just want to help. I just want everyone to feel a little better around me. And if that means keeping my mouth shut and serving everybody apple pie at the family dinner, that's what I'm going to do. And I wanted her to be, so she doesn't have a whole lot of autonomy or agency in the world. And I think she comes in and absorbs the energy rather than directs it, which is why I wanted a bigger silhouette, a softer person. And it was lovely playing someone who was lost, who only found her drive halfway through it. And I think ultimately her story is sort of a heroic tragedy, that she forfeits her own desire to be in the world as herself in order to take care of children, her kids, her sister's kids. So I think it's a very female story as well. We give up our trajectory to take care of children.
And seeing her fighting for the rights of people that she doesn't even know.
Right.
I mean, it's very powerful to see. You can talk about that?
Yeah. Well, I think her awakening, all that stuff had been going down in the farm for years, and I think it is endemic. But you also understand, thanks to John Ridley and the writers, that the farm is caught between a rock and a hard place as well. They're competing with Mexico and China, and how do we keep our industry in the United States and make it competitive? But I think crimes have been going on earlier, and she was asleep to it. So it's interesting that her awakening, by actually seeing the perpetrations and the forced labor and the illegal immigration and the crimes that go down, her awakening to that also awakens to her own thing of going, oh right, I don't have a voice, in a very small way compared to them. I can't go out and get a loan. I can't get an apartment. I can't get a car loan. I can't open a bank account. I don't have any money. So those two, I would say, epiphanies of, oh, I see their plight and it wakes me up to my own. And I think that's why she was so dedicated to fight for them and willing to sacrifice everything except the children.
Yeah. Do you ever think about where your characters end up after the story ends? Because after seeing this, I wondered what, this woman's future was going to be like. Do you ever think about that?
Yeah, I do. And I was worried about the end of the season because I wanted it to end with hope. And I don't know if season 1 and 2 ended with hope. I think it ended with reality, and not that hope and reality have to be mutually exclusive. And when I read the last episode, I went, oh, good. And then in particular, the way Dallas Roberts played it, that I think there is hope at the end of Jeanette's story. I know she goes back into the marriage, but I do think he backs her up, in that wonderful scene with Cherry Jones and Dallas Roberts when he steps in and defends his wife. And I think there is love there, and I think there's future in that marriage. So I actually have hope for her future.
I do too.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, because I know that you guys had an idea for the 4th season, and I had talked to Michael McDonald about this. I don't know if there's any chance that maybe that story could be told in some other way, some other place.
Boy, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Michael talked a little bit about shopping it around and seeing, obviously probably a cable venue who would pick it up. I don't know, but I've got my fingers crossed. It sure would be nice. I mean, women in the workplace, I don't think it's been investigated in that way. And I'm interested in, as opposed to just a complaint of like, wait, the Equal Rights Amendment never got ratified, and why are we making 70 cents on the dollar? And it's an intellectual kind of, that's an inequity. To actually see what John and Michael do so well is what the ripple effect is of the inequality in America in terms of gender. That I would be interested in seeing.
I would be too.
Yeah.
You're an Emmy winner and an Oscar nominee. What has that kind of recognition meant for you in your career?
Well, I feel a little shallow saying this because really it's a little bit out of your control whether or not you get nominated or win. I mean, you do good work and sometimes it gets recognized and sometimes it doesn't. But as an actor and in the business, it's been a real changer internally, and it's been a game changer externally, because acting isn't a meritocracy. You don't go, well, I got my BA and then I got my master's and now I'm a doctor. It's more like a gold rush. Like everyone goes, wow, the value's over here. Oh no, the value's over here. So to actually be recognized for a body of work feels really meaningful to me.
I wanted to ask you something since I was here, and as a theater kid, you got your start doing theater, and David Mamet plays. Mm-hmm. How did that training, I guess, help you and now?
It's been, I have to answer this because I really like this question. Sorry. Well, I feel like it's been great because David Mamet approaches acting like a craft, and I appreciate that. Because I think we're all craftsmen, and if the muse descends and you have a brilliant moment, fantastic. But you have to go back to just the nuts and bolts. And I think it gave me a real work ethic. I think it gave me a great appreciation for the things like getting paid and being able to work. And I think it gave me respect and I think it gave me a base upon which to work. You know, I understand how to make things, you know, flush, plumb, level, and then hopefully if you build the right house, there might be moments when, you know, God descends and it all works.
Felicity, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Those
Lovely
are
to
great
meet you.
questions.
Oh,
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you very
I
much.
love a good interviewer.